Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to a series long in the making with myself and my fantastic Canadian co-host, DFuxa.
Yep, that's me.
And we dive into, we haven't done one of these for a long time, but a Cornish co-op series with myself and DFuxa playing Jagged Alliance 3, the latest iteration of the Jagged Alliance franchise. Now, have you played this game before, DFuxa?
No, I've not yet played this game or any of its prequels, I guess we'll say.
Yeah. Um, for those of you who don't know what the Jagged Alliance franchise is, it is a satirical, almost like almost sort of semi Monty Python-esque satirical take on like action films from the 90s and early 2000s. So it's your like a ragtag band of amoral mercenaries get hired to do missions, normally with an overarching plot line. And there's been a number of the Alliance franchise. All of them are been very different, um, but with the same sort of satirical, don't take themselves quite so seriously action riff on a turn-based strategy game. And myself and DeFuax have been looking to play this game for quite some time together. So we are going to be doing a co-op series. Um, we agreed like about an hour or so video once a week. Was that what we initially agreed with DeFuax? Correct?
Yeah, or maybe more if we have time.
More we had time. Um, so first things first, let's dive into setting up the multiplayer. I am just going to basically pause my feed for a little bit because there's certain sensitive things that I do not want you, the viewing public, to see, and we'll be back with you in a second.
While Cornish is going to do that, I'm basically just going to tell you about who basically made this game, I guess. So, if you're basically like this, like, listening to me here,
Himimont Games.
that's the person who basically made these games. And yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce that myself. Basically, this game was released July 13th, 2023, so it's basically a fairly new game. Now, I'll note that for those basically watching both the, uh, you know, feeds for both me and Cornish, you'll note that I'm basically using GOG Galaxy basically to, like, open up this game here, whereas Cornish is not. He's basically using Steam. And I'm not really sure, like, what the main difference is besides, like, mods, but we can actually play together, which is like basically nice to basically note. Anything else you think we should add there, Cornish, or?
Um, the only downside, like, it is multi-platform cooperative. The only downside was that we couldn't do we couldn't use mods because obviously there are some mods that are on Steam which aren't on the mod hub, well, Nexus mod hub. So we're playing this vanilla, which is not the. I mean, to be honest, I do like the modded version of Jagged Alliance more, but the base game is still really good. Right, I'm just going to send you a quick message to Forex.
Yep, I'm just gonna load up the game now.
Okay.
I should also probably know as well that I have no experience playing this game either, so Cornish is actually the one with all the experience for this one.
Rightio, folks. Welcome back. Sorry, I was just setting up our server, and I didn't want some things to be sewn off to you, the viewing public. Okay, so yeah, I've played. I'm just trying to think how many hours I've played. At least 10, if not more. So I got a good grounding in the fundamentals of this game. The Jagged Alliance series is a game with a lot of replayability, and it does not hold your hand. The franchise has been well known for basically being both quite complex in combat, especially with quite a good combat AI with the AI opponents working in tandem using tactics, to the fact that the game has multiple endings and your decisions in game carry a lot of weight and have a lot of impact. So even though it's a satirical sort of piss take on action films from the 80s and 90s and the like. It actually has quite a serious undercurrent of your decisions carry weight, and you can have some pretty unpleasant decisions to make, especially in the earlier games, but still in this one. So, DFuxa.
Have you got a code there, Cornish?
Yeah, I've sent it to you on Discord.
Okay.
So first things first, when I'm setting up the difficulty for the people viewing my screen, because I'm setting up the lobby for the game, we have the difficulty options. We can go First Blood, which is standard difficulty, which is decent combat, finance, or challenge, and then it just gets harder from there. Personally, I'd recommend we keep it on First Blood because the game is pretty damn hard on standard difficulty as it is. So that would be my recommendations for you, DFuxa, to replay it on standard difficulty.
All right.
Right, when we have optional game rules, which we can turn on, which is like forgiveness mode, which lowers the impact of attrition and makes it easy to recover from bad situations, such as like having faster healing, quicker repair, better income. That's automatically turned off, but we can turn it on if you wish. It basically gives you a bit more leeway in making mistakes.
All right, shall we jump in?
I haven't set it up yet. I'm just setting up the game I'm just setting up the game settings.
All right.
So that was what I was talking about. Do you want to have like forgiveness mode turned on, which is basically gives us a bit of leeway by making the game a bit more forgiving?
I'll say no for now.
Okay. I'm going to keep active pause on, which allows pausing of the game in the exploration mode. I'm going to keep basically we have an option called Dead is Dead, which basically progress is saved automatically, so every death and every choice is final, so we can't save scum. Do you want that to be turned on, or do you... Personally, I'm always a bit worried about automatic
I'm going to
save
say no, just because something might happen, so...
Yeah, if we get data craps. To the bitter end, saving the game progress during combat is forbidden. I'm probably not going to change a lot of these, just in case we get data corrupts and all the like, or something crashes. Now, this is the one we may want. These are the ones that we may want to basically think about. We've got lethal weapons, which no down state, so mercenaries die when they are reduced to 0 HP, which makes the game a lot harder but more realistic.
The enemies don't have a down state, do they?
No, they just go straight down. Most of the time. I think there's a couple of ways. If you shoot them in the leg and stuff, they can be sort of... I can't remember off the top of my head, but most of the time when you're shooting someone with a submachine gun or something, they die quite quickly.
We'll leave it off for now, I guess, but, you know...
Yeah. And then we got into the advanced rules, such as we can have like ammo scarcity, which is finding less ammo, less throwables, and less consumables. Which I'm probably not going to turn any of these advanced settings on, to be honest, because it will make the game a lot harder, and if you've got no experience playing it, it can be a bit...
We already have forgiven mode off, so...
Yeah. And then it has stuff like Bob's Payouts, increases the price of basically increases the price of purchasing goods. Body count, which is increasing the number of enemies in hostile squads, which means we'd be facing a lot more enemies, and we're always going to be outnumbered anyway in this game.
Yep.
So that was hard lessons, which means the mercenaries level up slower. It means that advanced game rules basically means it makes the game a lot longer to play because your guys take longer to level up.
Heavy wounds, realistic wounds.
Yeah, heavy wounds hamper free move and accuracy, affecting all characters, mercs, allies, and enemies. I mean, to be honest, the game recommends that we don't turn on any advanced rules in our first playthrough, but we can change them anytime in-game if we want to. Do you want to have heavy wounds on? I mean, it will affect both the enemies and us.
I'm going to say no, but it is a nice feature to sort of see.
Yeah. Under the weather, which is more severe weather effects, more common, so we get more... Because weather plays an important part in this game, folks. With it being quite dynamic and affecting sort of visibility and how you can move around in the world, like when you're in exploration mode. So it also affects stuff like fire weapons, line of sights, all that kind of thing. So we could have more severe weather if you wish to have that.
Let's just leave all the advanced rules off, I guess.
Okay, let's leave the, and obviously we're gonna that means like have aim always online, which basically affects, well, the only things that we have left are 4 of them which affect aim, which is where we can recruit mercenaries and the like. Which is that the first one is aim is always online, mercs are never offline and will not refuse contracts without a good reason, which means that we have a wider pool of mercenaries to pull from if we wish. Then we have aim legendary deals. Starting salaries for all elite and legendary mercs are decreased, so if we wish to have, we can hire higher level mercenaries earlier. But that can be quite imbalancing because the higher level mercs are very powerful. And then we've got aim platinum, which is unlocks legendary mercenaries at the start of the game, except those mercs that are retired initially. And then we've got aim union rules. Mercs demand even higher salary as they progress. Starting salaries are unaffected. Yeah, I think we're just going to play everything just normal, to be honest. Right here. And I just did something stupid. I'm going to have to black that out. Okay. Right, so let's get the game started.
Ready up.
I'm going to invite you in. You're ready? Rightio. The original Jagged Alliance game of the 1990s poked fun at cliches and stereotypes that existed in the action movies of the time. Jagged Alliance 3 continues the tradition, but also takes jabs at contemporary issues and pop culture. This game is a work of fiction and is not based on any real person, location, or events. The players are encouraged to use their own judgment and discretion when playing the game, and decide which groups of enemies get the first grenade. So, welcome to Jagged Alliance 3, a Cornish co-op. And let's see how quickly we can stay alive. Like, we're not... Let's just be aware, we're not the best mercenaries in the world for being hired for this job.
And I'm very green, too.
Yeah.
Hello, no one is available to take your
Here we
call.
go.
Please leave a message after the tone.
This is Emma Lafontaine. Thank you for agreeing to help me find my father. I don't have much time to talk. I've been told it's no longer safe for me here, so I'm preparing to leave. I can't believe a city that only a few months ago was filled with joy and hope is now a place of fear and suspicion. But perhaps that tells you just how important my father is to this country. You see, Alphonse Lafontaine is much more than just the president. He is the symbol of my people's faith in a brighter future for Grand Chien. Since his abduction, that faith has been shaken. Things like law and justice are fragile concepts here, and the political enemies my father made are already calling for emergency powers to be invoked. I don't know if they are behind the kidnapping, but I am sure they are planning to take advantage of it. The person who took my father calls himself the Measure. I haven't been able to find out who he really is, but everyone knows what he wants. He has demanded the entire Ajani River Valley be given to him. His followers, who call themselves the Legion, have already seized most of it. But he has vowed to execute my father should the government attempt to intervene. I've wired the money you requested. Please, assemble your team and come meet me on Ernier Island at Corazon Santiago's villa. She is the Adonis representative I told you about in my email. Her diamond mining operations can help with additional funding should you need it. My car is here. I have to go. I'll have more details for you when we meet.
So, welcome to...
Okay, you can read it here, Cornish.
No, I was going to say, welcome to AIM Recruitment website. This is the webpage for the Association of International Mercenaries, also known as AIM for short. Here you can browse and hire different mercs for your starting squad. It is recommended you hire at least 3 mercs, but do keep watch on your funds. You will be able to hire mercs at any time during your mission, so don't worry if you currently lack the funds to hire the most legendary mercs.
Hit the continue button below to browse our catalog.
Indeed. This is a very tongue-in-cheek game, folks, and as you can tell, they're a bit desperate because we are not the top category mercenary commanders that you contact. Like, you don't go to Cornwall or Canada to hire competent mercenary experts, especially when the two of us are involved. So it is the 1st of April 2001. We have $40,000, be it American or Canadian. It's up to you, DFuxa.
Doesn't matter to me, we can call it pounds if you want.
Indeed. And we are being dropped into a former French colony in Africa, as you can tell by the use of French names. And it's your good old-fashioned Diamond War conflict, Blood Diamonds, and we are being sent in to save the day. Okay, so for those of you who can see my screen and probably can see the DFuxa screen, we are on the initial AIM database section, which is where we recruit our Mercs. We have 4 categories at the top. You can see Recruit, Veteran, Elite, and Legendary. Initially, Legendary is grayed out because we don't have access to it yet. So we only have Recruit through to Elite. My advice to DFuxa is that we pretty much stay in the Recruit section for the time being, as it will allow us to bulk out our squad fully while keeping our budget within par.
There's also another reason. If you look at Veteran, you'll notice that at least 5 of them are offline.
Yeah, that was the random setup we got early on. So we've actually lost access to a lot of the veterans. We have got some not too bad starting characters. So, I believe our maximum party size is 6, DFuxa. One of those will be held by the operations commander, which is the player avatar that you create. I believe I will be creating that character because I'm the host of the game.
Yep.
Which means that DFuxa will have a pick of 3 mercenaries under his command, and I will have my player character and 2 mercenaries under my command.
Do you recommend we get a party of 4 to start off with? Because I actually recommend 3 in like the tutorial intro there.
From what I've played, we want to get a max party as quickly as possible. Just because we're always going to be outnumbered. My player character, we'll rephrase that. The mercenary commander is free. We always get that character free. It's basically supposed to be your avatar in the game, so we don't have to pay a salary for him. So we literally only have to pay the upkeep on 5 Mercs. I would recommend us getting a party of as max party size as quickly as possible, because I have played enough this game to know that the game does not hold your hand, and it can be quite brutally unfair. So we want to get max party size for our initial squad as soon as possible.
Alright, well, I guess before we do anything else, we'll note that there's basically a myriad of different sort of characters we need to get here.
Yes.
If we basically look at Fox, she's basically a doctor. If we look at Mal, she's basically the all-rounder.
Yep.
Amrian is basically a marksman. Livewire is basically a mechanic, and you basically see Barry down here at the bottom is basically an explosive expert. There is some other types of characters as well. If we go to Elite and look at say Ron Raider or Higgins, he's basically a leader.
Yep.
But I guess we don't need a leader character right away, so.
Well, I can always make our commander character a leadership character. Have him sort of the all-around leadership character that helps support other characters. The way the game works, folks, is that it will pick the person with the highest stats for any skill check. You don't have to be using that character for it. In dialogue screens and the like. So you're recommended, from my experience, to basically have characters for the most part who are specialized in certain fields. As you can see over on the character screen, if we look at Bobby, Steroid, Guntorsrisky, you can see that you have two fields of abilities. You have their stats, which is health, agility, dexterity, strength, and wisdom. And then you have core skills such as leadership, marksmanship, mechanical, explosive, and medical. So you're wanting people to have a specialization if you can help it, or at least be high in a number of areas. So let's pick the starting party, the Fuax, and then we can tailor the main character from there.
Alright, well, let's look at the mechs basically first, because we basically have two of them. Cynthia Fox Guzman and Dr. Michael M.D. Donson. I'll note besides just looking at stats, we also want to look at their starter perks as well. If we look at MD, he's got something called Zoophobic, which basically means he loses morale when he's attacked by an animal.
Yeah.
And he's also an optimist, who basically prevents a small chance for preventing morale loss.
Yeah, he also has Find My Feet, which can become inspired, increase the team's morale during combat, which means we get a higher damage and a critical hit chance.
And if we basically look at, say, like Fox over here, note that hers is basically a little bit different, where she has, like, say, Opportunistic Killer, so it enables crits with interrupt attacks. Automatic reload if Overwatch was used last turn. She's got Amputated Deafness, so she doesn't have, an accuracy penalty when dual wielding. And she's got, like, Scoundrel, so basically, first weapon spot for a turn is free. Additional conversation options.
Yeah. I should also mention that MD also has the teaching perk, which means that he's faster at completing training, militia and training operations for other characters.
I believe Fox does too.
Does he? Oh, yes, he does. So, let's have a look. She's $5,000, and he's basically
4,000.
He's just basically under 4,000. Yeah. She has a very high dex. Her stats are basically if we round it up, it's nearly 80, 100,
60.
70, 60, 70, while he is 70, 60, 80, 70, 90. So she has better core stats. If we look at his skills, he's really only okay at shooting and good at medicine. He's not good at anything else.
Same with Fox, more or less.
Yeah, while she has a slightly more mix of skills throughout. Just be aware that if you want to pick up perks in this game or any kind of trait, you have to have a stat, either a core stat or a talent or a core skill that's over 70%. So, realistically looking at it, MD is good for medicine and a lot of the core stat perks, but he's rubbish at anything more specialist. And Fox is really only good for stat perks and no skill perks, because the only ones you can pick up would be marksmanship and medicine, and that would be requiring her to get trained in it to get a perk point, get additional training in it. I
do like the fact though that she does have the striking looks option there, so
yeah, extra. Actually, when a Fox opponent opens, the thing is that only works when she starts, if that character initiates combat.
True, we probably don't want the mech doing that.
No, we'd probably want someone like a sniper doing that if we're going to do it at all, or someone with a heavy machine gun. Personally, I like MD. I know he's not the best character in the world, but if we just want someone that can heal and basically give a bit of range support, he's pretty good for it. Plus, it doesn't take much to get his marksmanship up. He's got okay agility. I mean, the only difference is that she's got high agility, which is the thing that really affects your action. So, I mean, it's a split. He's better medicine. Like, if we just want a straight-up healer, MD is basically the person we want. He's competent. He can be made into a competent range unit, and he has really good medicine early on. While Fox is someone who can become much better medicine and marksmanship. But it's up to you, because like I said, I'm like you're going to have 3 characters. I'm going to have 2 and a created character. So who are you thinking? Who do you like the look of for the squad medic?
I'll note, by the way, when it comes to stats, by the way, should we try and have like a min-max of stats, where like say Fox has good dexterity, or we look at say Mouse is basically like good to get with like agility, stuff like that, or
Yeah.
doesn't matter too much?
We probably want to think about the roles that they will have in the squad. Basically, from my remembrance of the game, there's basically 5 roles, really 5 or 6 roles in the squad. You have the commander role, which is the character that deals with a lot of the like leadership side of things. The person that you're going to have trying to persuade people, like the face of the party, if you want to use a role play term. You have the scout, which is the person that you're going to have sneaking around and trying to find all the enemy locations, hidden dangers, that kind of thing. Trying to sort of either sneak in and disable stuff or silently take down lone enemy units. You're going to have the medic, who is the person that predominantly is going to be doing healing, because you need to have good medic skill to get the most out of your medikits, because it's not always you don't always like get. You basically want to have the best person doing it, because it's a valuable resource and it gets used up that we have to refill it. You have the engineering expert, who is basically sort of like be explosives or mechanical and that kind of thing. And then you've got the specialist weapons expert, be it the heavy gunner, be it the sniper, and they're the ones that sort of really bring the pain and sort of deal with enemy elite troops. And then you've got the sort of rifleman, who is the person that's there to basically kill a lot of the gun cannon fodder troops that you will come into contact in this game. So it's up to you what you want to take, dude. I mean, Fox is a good character from the looks of it. We can get her trained up relatively quickly on marksmanship and medicine. She won't be the best medic, but she'll have better survivability. The only downside is she will be taking a higher wage, because she is level 2 in compared to level 1.
So I think, yeah, we want to take, like, you basically used MD already with like your initial playthrough, right?
Yeah. Also remember,
yeah.
Also, just got to interrupt. Look at her fee at the bottom, because
Yeah.
not all characters, like, it's 5,000 plus an initial 1,000 medical fee that we have to pay off. So she's going to cost us 6 grand for that character.
Ah, okay.
MD is only going to cost us about 4.5.
That's where, like, he gets a little bit cheaper because we don't have to pay for, his medicals much.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't, you said that you want to basically sort of stick to recruits, but, do you want to take, like, at least one veteran around just to, like, bring one to the table?
I mean, let's look at it. The only 2 that we really have in the ballpark, because the other 2 would basically take a massive chunk out. I mean, like, if we take Wolf,
10 grand,
we're gonna take,
or 10,000.
Yeah, he's 10,000 plus his upkeep plus 2,500 medical, so he'd wipe out like nearly half our starting funds. Well, more than a quarter of our starting funds, and then there's the upkeep to take into consideration. Blood is good, but at the same time, he's also going to be expensive. So it's really Grunty and Buns. She's a face character by the looks of it, teaching negotiation. She's a good marksman. She's got good stats. So basically, if we're wanting to get prices, she's basically a good face character. She's not the best face character, though. We could probably make one that's better. Grunty is, let's see, attacking.
The all-rounder.
He's an all-rounder. He's a heavy weapons expert. He's Vanguard, which means he's better in cover. He can carry more weight. He's basically Attacks with the closest enemy with a firearm when combat starts, if possible. He's basically the bloke that you want to have, say, like a light machine gun or a combat shotgun close to the enemy, so that when it starts, he can literally just start mowing people down. So if we take him, that's going to be That's going to be $6,000. I mean, it's up to you, DFuxa. Like I say, I'm happy to basically make a character and then fill in a couple of slots with people that we have. Like, we don't even have to take the full 6. I just recommend taking 6 because as soon as possible, because the opening of the game can be quite challenging.
Well, I think we'll just go with just 4 characters, including the one you're going to make. So we'll be on a little bit on the cheap side, I guess.
Okay, so 4 Mercs and the NPC and the avatar character. Okay.
Well, I meant like 3, just to keep it on a cheap.
I mean, we had 4 in the training run because we basically, folks, we did a little training run to basically see if we could get co-op working, and we had 4 people in that one, which were paid Mercs, and it worked quite well. So do you want to stick with that, DFuxa?
So
Like
yours
4?
and then 3 more.
No, mine and then 4 paid Mercs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll go with Fox just because it'll be different than your current playthrough where you basically went with MD.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
I'll contact her.
Fox here. If this is about a job, I'm all ears. Well, that's not completely true. I have other parts too.
All right, so she's very much a seductive character, I take it.
Yeah.
Let's offer. So we'll offer for 7 days. It'll be
Yeah.
5,040 to hire plus 1,120 for medical. Confirm.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a deal. By the way, I hear Wolf is available, and I love working with him. I'd be so appreciative if you hired him too.
That's
she feel-
something else.
Yeah, okay.
That's something else to be aware of. All the mercenaries have different relationships with different characters. So some of them work and play better with other characters. Some of them really do not like working with other people.
All right, so where's Wolf? Is he a veteran? He is.
Yeah, he is. He is the $10,000 guy.
We'll leave him alone for now, but
Yeah.
at least we know she likes Wolf.
Yeah. So we've got Fox has been selected.
Yep.
Who do we want to take? I would recommend Kalena as our sort of engineer / sniper, as she's a really good sniper.
Yep.
And has some really nice perks. So I'll do you want to have? Well, actually, it doesn't matter because I can always switch over controller characters anyway.
You want me to buy them all for now, and then we can switch them over later?
You contact Kalena.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello, talking computer. I am Kalena. Nice to meet you. Are you offering a job?
All right. So she's very simple but cheap.
Yeah. But she's good at what she does.
She doesn't have a medical fee, so she's nice and cheap for that reason too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, talking computer. Nice of you to send me on an adventure.
All right. So
Yeah.
disconnect.
She is Ukrainian and Fox is American. So we've got 2 more Mercs we need to hire. I personally like Barry. He's cheap. He's not the best. He's like a really good explosive expert, which means that if we need someone to demolish stuff, it's him. He's also comes with the ability to make his own shaped explosive charges, which early game saves us a lot of money.
There's also the fact that he's the only guy with explosives basically in the recruits, and
Yeah.
also the veterans for that matter.
Yeah.
So we'll get Barry.
Yep.
This is Barry Unger. This is about job? Work is not plenty at the moment, so I cannot be particular.
All right. So basically, he's having a tough time finding work. So offer.
Indeed.
I have not worked with you. You are unknown to me. I need more money as insurance I stay alive.
Ah, so he wants more money.
Yeah, so he wants basically 3,700 rather than the 2,900 that we initially assumed.
Is that still worth it, you think?
Yeah, I mean, the best explosive expert we can get early on, and his abilities are good.
We have reached simultaneous agreement. Count me as part of your team. Something else. My friend Red is some terrific. I would like to work with him. Take in consideration. We will meet soon. Goodbye.
Okay.
It's interesting how he actually popped up with, are you having trouble in the machine? If not, let us continue with the agreement. We sort of cut him off there, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, Petey likes red apparently. Who's red?
Let's see.
Red's
Red,
an
I
elite.
think that's an elite, so there's no way we're going to pick that person up.
And it's an explosive expert too, so...
Yeah. So, last selection box. We have, so far we've got a medic, we've got a sniper mechanic, we've got an explosive expert. Just to let you aware, there are different kinds of, for example, there's like the IT kind of mechanical kind of stuff, and then there's like the fixing machines. So it all goes under mechanical, but some perks fit into it better than others. So we've got one slot left. We could take, for example, Grizzly and have a heavy weapons expert. And have them sort of, the heavy weapons experts are good for stuff like machine guns, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, that kind of thing. We could have Mouse and have a dedicated scout, and which means we could sneak up on stuff. What else do we have? We could go with basically like a rifleman, have, say, Oilery, which is basically, he's good at being sort of like a jack of all trades rifleman. The only downside with him is that he dislikes claustrophobic spaces, which is not great. Igor, who is basically, if you want to get in close and do melee damage or shotgun damage, he's the kind of guy to go.
And he's stealthy too, I see.
Yeah, basically the way that Igor works in my experience with him is that you basically get as close as possible as you can in the initial setup, and then when battle kicks off, he goes in either melee or with a combat shotgun. He has fairly good traits, but it depends how, like, I always find that stealth in this game is split into two options. You can try melee stealth, which is really lethal, but is risky, or you can try range stealth, which requires silenced weapons, and either having a pistol or a sniper rifle. I mean, you can do it with other weapons as well, but it can be more of a challenge.
Also throw it in, just looking at the veterans, there's also Grunty and Buns over here. It looks like Grunty's basically a close quarters operative, because he basically likes to get in close with Vanguard.
Yeah, that's something. But he's going to be expensive to have. He's going to be, what, like more than 6k?
A little bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
61 or so.
Yeah. I mean, Mouse is good. I mean, it's her strategy is that she's basically, you get in close and you basically use a silenced weapon to take stuff out.
Yeah, but you already used Mouse, and I want to try and differentiate some of the characters for you.
Okay. Grizzly, maybe? Like, he's pretty damn good.
Killing Spree.
Yeah.
And he likes to use machine gun weapons, I guess, by the hip.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go with Grizzly, I guess.
Yeah, let's grab Grizzly. For those of you...
Cornell here. What do you want?
Alright, so let's offer.
Excellent! I've been looking for some fun.
There we go.
Right. Yeah. So for those of you who are watching this for the first time, the first episode is going to be a lot of us basically getting set up. So just be aware. Right. I'm going to go over to the character creation screen. Oh, we've got the aim of evolution, so we can like flip through the stats for the character. You can look what perks they have available. Mercs getting a new perk every time they level up. High stats such as health and strength will determine which perks are available to each character. Better perks will become available as you invest in perks associated with that particular stat. So you can flip through the different characters, see the different stats they have available, all that kind of thing. we can do that later. I'm going to go and basically do the character creation option. DFuxa, I don't believe DFuxa will be able to see me doing this. So...
Yep, you'll have to basically go over to Cornish's screen and see what's going on. But basically,
yeah,
if I try and press OK here, I'll basically, like, you know, won't let me in.
Yeah.
Because they basically don't have the private ID and stuff like that, so...
Okay, let's go with PET. Following the test applied you with a series of hypothetical situations which may or may not be based on real information about you that could be provided to our partners. Please lay back and pick one answer for each of the provided questions. You are advised to answer as honestly as possible. For any of you who this sounds familiar to certain Fallout fans, it sort of is. Question number 1. It's a sunny day, you're enjoying the rest from mercenary work, and are at your favourite place, which is A, the dojo, B, the beach. I should actually read the more extended options. A, the dojo, you're teaching yellow belts humility. B, the beach, you are attaching a minigun and armor plates to your favourite motorboat. C, the shooting range, you are drawing obscene pictures on the targets with bullet holes. And D, the office, you are helping your secretary who somehow got stuck in the weapons cabinet again. I'm probably going to go with the shooting range because I want a character that can actually help in combat, or range combat. Question number 2: you finished your previous assignment 6 months ago when you and your team destroyed a terrorist camp. It wasn't the actual assignment. You just needed to use the bathroom. Or option 2, you infiltrated a secret military complex in North Korea dressed as a little girl, killing 3 bad guys with a bobby pin and a teddy bear. Option 3, you sniped 3 enemies before the first body hit the ground. One of them was piloting a helicopter. Or 4, you got drunk the night before the mission even started and eliminated the bad guys all by yourself. When your team arrived, they found you snoring amidst the corpses. I'm probably going with A. You and your team destroyed the terrorist camp. It wasn't an actual assignment. You just needed to use the bathroom. Sounds like something I would do. Question 3. Yet you made some new enemies with that mission. What happened? Nothing spectacular. The cars exploded, buildings demolished, a satellite falling down from low orbit. Just a usual amount of indiscriminate justice. Or it can be you hunted down all your enemies, the friends of your enemies, the enemies of your friends, but then the enemies of your enemies turned against you. Or 3, your favourite treat got a scratch, those responsible scream for hours. Or number 4, you made a mistake of sparing some of the bad guys, tending to their wounds and sending them to jail, only to discover that they later escaped.
Are you a nice person, Cornish?
Yeah, I am a nice person. You made the mistake of sparing some of the bad guys. So we go with that one. Suddenly your pager bleeps about a new email from I don't hackmail.com. I don't know hackmail.com. You raise an eyebrow, opening your Outbook, and it reads, "You will pay for your transgressions. We know where you live. There is a photo of your front porch attached. How much are you concerned?" Number 1, you are furious. You jump in your car and drive like hell, so they have the location of your home. You have a homing missile for them. Number 2, you are worried. Random bad guys invading your home are bad for your dog's diet. Number 3, you're annoyed. When the landmines in your front yard go off, the body parts will land on your neighbour's lawn, and you'll never hear the end of it. Number 4, you don't care. It's just a dummy location and not your real place, but now you know where they are. I'm probably going to go with number 3, to be honest. Like, it's annoying clearing up after landmines. Always be prepared. Or maybe actually you don't care, it's just a dummy location. Probably a dummy location. Question 5. Oh, what happened here? Someone just kicked me out of...
Sorry, I hit the close in the perk thing. I thought it boot me back to aim, but no, it booted you out, I guess.
Yeah, 1 second. Return to game. Merc info. I can still go ahead and test. Here we go. You're almost home when the stranger in a trench coat appears and stands in your way. Hey, what do you say about some good stuff? What is your response? Sure. Want to buy some? It's about time. We're here. If you're here at the detonators, right? Sorry, I don't recognize you. There seems to be a lot of turnover in your job. My mum always told me not to take stuff from strangers, so let me introduce myself before I take all your stuff. I've got no time for this. Step aside, or I'll open a new hole or two in your ass. I'm gonna go with number 3. My mum always told me never to take stuff from strangers, so let me introduce myself before I take all of your stuff.
Yes,
With
we're
a
very
flash-
cheesy.
Yeah, with a flash of steel, the stranger pulls a knife from his coat. Hands up, Merc. You walked right into our trap. You show him your favorite hobby, limb origami. Or number 2. There's always where there was a knife in his hand, there is now a hole. There's always some dimwit who brings a knife to a gunfight. You almost drop your grenade laughing. You open up your medical bag and introduce him to the novel concept of reverse first aid. I am just going to take that where there was a knife, there is now a hole, because I just love the Indiana Jones reference. There's always a fool that brings a knife to a gunfight. Kill me if you want, he yells. You're dead already, you just don't know it. You kill him, not that you needed his permission, but it feels better with it. Or you don't find death threats to be funny, so you don't find his death threats to be funny, so you smash his face with your fist. No. Basically, the sound is so much funnier. Number 3, you handcuff him, attach time explosive to his belt, and tell him he is dead already and doesn't know it yet, but he's about to. You bring him home, tie him up in your trunk for a proper interrogation with truth serum and assorted motivation tools. I'm probably going to go with number 1, actually. You kill him, not that you needed his permission, but it feels better with it.
Okay.
Number 8. When you finally get home, you see there are tracks on the lawn and the front door to your house ajar. What do? You kick down the front door with a machine gun in one hand, an assault rifle in the other, and a knife between your teeth, and this is just half of your weapons you're carrying. You do it by the books, call for backup, flashbang, take cover inside with your gun in hand and yell freeze. You pile around the house and silently clamber in through an open window with a knife in hand and a wicked smile on your face. You just sigh and get your first kit ready before you enter, although you're quite sure that those poor fools are beyond saving already. I'm probably go with you just sigh and enter with the first aid kit because I've probably booby rigged the house.
Probably.
Yeah. Inside there is another surprise to face with 2 armed intruders, both very, very dead. You investigate their remains to determine the cause of death. They died of ignorance. They ignored your warning signs about the landmines in the entryway. It was right there, locked in the pantry, in the pizza box, written in Sanskrit. They died of lead poisoning. Your 12-year-old niece is immensely proud of her submachine gun skills. They died from science. They contributed by testing Newton's laws with the help of a pressure plate, a block of granite, and their own skulls. They just died of joy and laughter. Those happen to be the names of your friendly Rottweilers. I'm pretty good at doing. They died from lead poisoning. All is well that ends well, except maybe not so well for those thugs. What do you do next? Investigate and find out more about the fools who attacked you. If there are more of them, you will hunt them down pro bono. Search the bodies for weapons, ammo, and valuables. This is how nature works. Cows give us milk, hens give us eggs, and bad guys give us loot. Throw the bodies to your pigs. Good job. Now you have to piss off somebody else. Poor piggies will be hungry again soon. Gosh, you missed mercenary work. You should look for a contract firm, form another Jagged alliance, and get back into the action. I'm going to go with the looting option. Okay, so we finished our outcome. Your personality type is performer. You're a strong awareness of surroundings and receptive when it comes to other people. You're quick to spot a problem and you can offer a solution with deadly precision. Your dominant psychological need is competence. The world is your playground. You strive to gain mastery in a given field and work or study. And you are driven by your desire to succeed in your endeavor. Sometimes you will not heed the means necessary or the body count. Your spirit animal is wolf. So, that was all basically allowing you to fiddle with stuff, folks. So we can quickly just get a character up and running. Go with that. We're going to go and call him John. His nickname is Kane. My agility is terrible. Dex is not great. Leadership, wisdom. I'm trying to remember. affects my ability to learn from experience and training. I'm probably going to bring my wisdom down, get my agility up, so I have a good amount of action points. Bring my health down a little bit. Marksmanship is already pretty good. Mechanical, explosive. I'm going to probably make him like a backup medical character, just so that we have someone on hand that can patch people up.
Besides Fox?
Yeah. I'm probably going to put the rest into leadership, because leadership affects training with Melissa and Mercs of getting and giving us passive boosts as well.
Currently, we only have like one leadership character, and that's Kalina, which is very low.
Yeah, I'll get his leadership up to 60. Strength isn't great. But I'm more invested in getting certain things. Okay, so I can probably bring down his marksmanship down to 80, so we have 10 points. And get it up. He's not the best. He's not going to be good at mechanical. He's not going to be good at explosives, but he's competent at being at medical. He's got decent marksmanship of 80. His wisdom is 50. His strength is only 43, so he's not going to be the strongest character. He's got a dex of 50 though, which means that he hasn't got the worst. He hasn't got the worst action point score. No, sorry, that's the dex. Dex doesn't do AP. That's agility. Dexterity is to do with basic bonus for aiming. He's got 60 health, 60, so he's a fairly competent person. And leadership of 60 is good. Okay, so here we go. What perk do I want to pick? Let's see. You can decide to use a more vicious attack than the one selected. So this will affect what options we have in dialogue. So we can do negotiations. Actually, negotiator is probably the one we want, because we don't have that, do we?
No, not really.
Yeah, so we'll have negotiator because he's got good stuff like that. And what do I want to give him? Pistols I'm not interested in. I'll take automatic weapons because obviously powerful. Reduce penalties for accuracy when Knight are in the ground for sectors. Improve martial arts, hand-to-hand, throwing. I'm going to probably take teaching because he does have good leadership, which ties into his ability to train people. So we can get stuff like marksman skill up and stuff like that. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, right here. We're not going to be the most sneaky of people. He's going to cost us. Yeah,
guns blazing ourselves.
Yeah, just going to let you aware. He's going to cost us 7 grand, but he has no upkeep cost.
Okay.
So we don't have to pay that. Okay.
There's Kane.
Yeah, there's Kane. Oh, merry band of maniacs. So, that's all done. So, for those of you who, maybe we should have this as episode 0, DFuxa. Like, have it as sort of like episode 0 if you want to see us setting up the game and the stuff. This is the episode to watch, and episode 1 is when we're getting right into the action. Do you want to put a quick cut in here so we start off the next episode with us hitting the beach?
Well, before we do that, is there anything else we want to sort of cover before, we go into the action?
Okay. So, actually, yeah, if we look at the region map, we'll show that off, actually. If you just go to the region map.
Yep.
This is the country in question that we are dealing with. You can see it's set up in a grid pattern. Every single grid square that you can see, which is not water, is its own individual map. So there's lots of secrets and hideaways and interesting things hidden around in this world. This world does not care if you are the protagonist or not. It will work at its own speed, and it can massively screw you over. So the region that we're in of this country, this delta, is largely controlled by the enemy. and we are trying to land on this island here. As you can see, the blue icon is our sigil here. We can even change it. I think we may change it to something a bit more in keeping with us. What do you think, DFuxa? Does that look better as our little squad icon?
What, the death skull with the you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fine.
We have a couple of options. You could do like a bomb, bullet, that kind of thing. I thought this was more sort of in keeping with probably what's going to happen to us in Sword Order.
Do the enemies have like different portraits, or are they all like skulls?
I believe most of the time they're skulls, though specialist squads can have their own sigils, I believe. A lot of what we can see on the maps are just your like default henchman units, sort of like the killer bees, the rock pythons are just like your sort of generic sort of militia, and we haven't come up against any of the actual Legion forces yet. So we're landing on this island with our initial incursion being on map square I-1, and we have our orders, which is meet the client. The client is waiting for us on Ernie Island, which is basically here, named after the settlement of Ernie. And my recommendation to DFuxa is that we focus trying to capture the island before we leave it, so we can have it as a base of operations for any future incursions into the Delta.
Okay.
Because if we don't capture a base of operations, we're going to have problems getting our supplies delivered to us and reinforcements and the like. So we need to basically secure ourselves a base of operations and then do an evaluation of where we want to go from there. That's my suggestion. But you don't have to listen to me. We are joint mercenary commanders after all.
I think I'll take your advice, because, you know, having a base of operations sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Right, so do you have any questions or queries before we end here for the first episode?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is there anything in the help center we need to like sort of go over, or?
Let's see. Yeah, let's just check out the help center. Basically, this game works off a it does not work off a percentage like say XCOM. It works off a basically zone attack model. So basically, you'll have a circular target, aim target, and the bullets will fly around in that area. So it doesn't work off percentages. There's your standard stuff like attack modifiers for darkness, range, cover, that standard kind of thing. It works on an AP action point system. We will get into a bit more of that stuff when we get into combats. The only thing to really take notice of in the world map before we go in is the environmental effects, because that's something that I didn't really discuss with you a lot before DFuxa.
All right.
Which is there's basically I believe there's like 7 to 8 environmental effects that can basically impact how we play.
So stuff like, you know, night, which basically reduces visibility, rain, which
underground,
basically, you know, stuff like that.
Dust storm. They change from stuff like rain and fog to more extreme things like dust storm, firestorm, like torrential rain, like heavy rain, and that will impact stuff like increased aiming costs, weapon jamming. Basically, in some conditions, we'll have problems like we'll start to accumulate fatigue much quicker. If we like wander into a firestorm, our vision range will be greatly reduced, and we can start to lose energy intake, like start to collapse from like heat exposure. If we're fighting in the night or in underground areas, certain characters can panic because they don't like those particular effects.
Did we have a claustrophobic character, or was that Igor?
It's some characters have it. I don't think we picked everyone that has it. I don't think we picked anyone that has the issue with night or underground. But that is something to keep an eye out for, especially if we decide to try and operate more at nighttime. Be aware, if we try and operate at nighttime without goggles or torches, it gets pretty dark. So that is just something to take into consideration.
Well, I think it's basically good for a first episode, so let's not make it too long.
Yeah, let's put a cut in here, folks. I've been Cornish Knight.
I've been DFuxa.
And this is Jagged and Alliance-free Cornish Canadian co-op. And I shall see you all again next time.
When we actually start playing.
Yes, indeed.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, folks.